Passing was a concept invented by Margaret Thatcher in the 1960s to oppress trans people. You see, after stealing milk from British school children, she realized that the next generation of Englishmen would all be effeminate, starved twinks. If these Englishmen transitioned to women, they would be infinitely hot, and would eventually steal all the men from the biological women to create a gay femboy ethno-state. To stop this amazing future, Thatcher funneled all of reactionary white women pearl-clutching into a site called the Mumsnet. The purpose of Mumsnet was clear, to act as a repository for the average British female to cope and see that we must save British twinks from becoming hot women with huge gorilla grip vaginas at all costs, Thatcher proclaimed, and the British women, with almost a new fascistic sense of pride, went out and made jellied eels and boiled shoe salad with a new purpose in mind. And in typical fascist fashions, the transgender mafia did a Mussolini moment and did a little bit of trolling, and caused rampant Antifa violence to break out in Britain. This is why current-day Britain is now considered TERF Island. Now, this may sound like another Kirbizio word salad, but the first TERF Island War says something about passing. It was so important to white women that they needed to create Mumsnet. So what about this passing concept was so dangerous and so successful? Why did the 1984 Antifa riots kill 3 trillion innocent women who won't wheeze? I've made fun of British people. No one's ever done this. Please like the video. Click the like button. Passing as a concept is all about how people perceive you, specifically what gender people can actively perceive you as. If you're a trans person, you want to pass as the specific gender of your choice. I mean, this is mainly a concept for the gender-conforming trans bitches who want to transition inside the gender binary. If a trans woman wants to transition outside of their gender binary, good luck. The amount of people who would actively gender you with anything but she or him is very slim, and I feel sorry for you. I mean, you guys are very based and valid, but to a certain extent, you literally need to not care about passing. Well, I guess you could get, like, passing power when you confuse some cis person into saying 30 different pronouns for you, but as a general rule, it mainly matters for those who want to stray within the gender binary. Nothing against those who wish to stray outside, and honestly, good luck to you. Destroy the West with Greg Soros funding, yada yada, typical Kirbizio word salad. Like most issues of identity, it's not an issue of one's own identity, but how others perceive you. If you pass as a woman after you transition, it means that people will treat you like a woman. If you don't pass, you are at worst a laughingstock to be pointed and laughed at, but if you pass, then you are one of the good ones, and acceptable for me to fetishize. I mean, I just became trans, so it'd be socially acceptable for me to chase cock 24/7. I mean, I literally just made this YouTube channel so I could make more trans souls born 100 gex pilled girls send me their nudes. Passing matters in terms of your actual day-to-day life, but what makes somebody pass? Number one, most important thing is simple. Money. If you are an upper, middle to upper class trans person, you should be good. This is why every single Twitter pickru works for the CIA to pay for their transition. If you work at Starbucks, they have great insurance for trans people, but then you have to interact with white women 24/7 as a career. Let's start with the basic question first. Why do you need money? Unless you were blessed with god-tier RNG roll on genetics and just need a dress and some makeup to pass, you're gonna need to use some holy epic Keanu Chungus science. I mean, I fucking love science. It's so epic. Look at this image of the nebula. Oh my science, dude. But the most common treatment is HRT, which is literally you just starting puberty 2.0, but the right one this time. And you get all the feminizing shit cis women get from puberty. Congrats. It's kind of funny when people say transgenderism is unnatural, but literally all you need to grow boobs is just take estrogen. How unnatural and monstrous this medicine is. Experimental danger drugs we have to protect our kids from. If we also go by the idea of perfect design, then God wants us to transition into trans women with gorilla grip coochies by making it so that anyone can undergo puberty 2.0 with like one chemical. Beyond HRT, there are so many plastic surgeries you could get to physically alter more male parts of your body. Most commonly FFS, or facial feminization surgery, the complicated procedure that just feminizes your face. Be sure to get all of the surgeries like Pokemon until you look like a genetic plastic pretty girl, perfect for fetishization by men. Now, for those of you lucky enough to be anywhere except the worst country in the world, a good portion of this will be covered. And may God help you if you live anywhere except here. Enjoy the Ukrainian bathtub estrogen shipped through 30 countries. Unless you work for Starbucks or a Fortune 500 company, enjoying paying out of pocket for everything and having to save up thousands of dollars just so you don't feel suicidal when passing a mirror. Use that can-do attitude and individualist spirit to slave away your life for something that should just be basic healthcare. It's so much better when you earn it, isn't it? If you live on the currently sinking trash heap known as TERF Island, you are basically living in the third world. The NHS waitlists are years long, and unless you like waiting 2+ years to see anybody, good luck. Hit up that Ukrainian estrogen and pray your parents don't find the packages. Don't worry though, to be a woman is to suffer, so think about it, in a good way. The NHS making you wait 3 years for estrogen is actually very progressive. Think of it as gender-affirming care via waiting. Speaking of waiting, you've just had your 9th argument with your parents about HRT. You arise from your tear-stained bed to go to the bathroom. You don't know how to make these feelings leave, but you certainly know how to dull them. Your eyes flicker across the mirror. Your morbid curiosity, wishing to be sated, finally gives a proper look. The visage you see is human, but clearly not your own. A flesh puppet, piloted by a soul that isn't there. The derealization hits you. This can't be me. The masculine features sticking out like festering wounds. This cannot be me. You throw up. And you throw up a lot. Your soul has been heaved out of you into this pungent bowl of excrement. Only one thing stays with you. The only thing that remains is the ever-pressing fact that makes you willing to fight the parents who you love. It will get worse. Day by day, hour by hour, and second to second, you will feel testosterone disfigure you into a creature beyond recognition. The only thing you can do is wait, and wait you will. Yeah, you're kind of cringe for doing that, lmao. I'm a white trans woman who got an HRT at 10 years old. This is right now. You're just mad because I'm hot or my coochie can turn. Yes, sadly, passing is often determined by the most random and arbitrary factors you have no control over. Did you get lucky enough to realize you were trans at a young age? Congrats, welcome to passing. Do you have lucky genetics feminine enough to make you pass with zero effort? Congrats, welcome to passing. For the rest of us, it's at the very least a 2-year-long process of self-hatred at the sharp reverberating pains of dysphoria as you slowly watch that dull into a melancholic void where you aren't dead, but you are getting better at the very least. This will leave you very normal and well-adjusted and very happy and secure in yourself. Then again, it's so gender-affirming to suffer for no reason, so God, up there, you're a real one. God made a place for us to suffer eternally? That's so trans-positive. I love hell. OMG, guys, God said trans rights. Put that on a t-shirt. In this grasping for the nebulous goal of being a woman, you might ask, when am I a woman? I mean, there's no answer because it's a highly subjective, almost philosophical question. The general answer then becomes, well, I should be one, but when people see me as one, I might as well be one, right? So this is when Turf Island steps in. Turf Island sends Margaret Thatcher to make another Hun thread off of TTT. She masks as a repressor operating on the 9th layer of coping to convince themselves they can't pass and they're doomed to be ugly forever. The pole chuds copy and paste every image in the thread to their respective schizophrenic platforms. Eventually the schizophrenic and anti-Semitism gets sanded off into a nice, smooth, conservative meme. This is me when I'm literally taking a fat shit in the women's bathroom. The trans person and their infinite internet browsing will see this image at some point on the assembly line. They will know that to others, what matters is not who you are, but the way you look. The trans woman will internalize it and in a self-sacrificing, feminine way attempt to appease the generally transphobic populace. Eventually, this behavior is so internalized that it becomes a standard without knowing. This medical condition is known as brained worms. You'll see a trans woman who's quite literally the hottest person ever comparing themselves to pictures from this first original Hun thread. She uses every excuse under the sun to explain away the moments when people thought they were female. At this stage, the brain worms are terminal, and will make this host search out for a hoodie and blahage to appease the singular brain worm. The boy motor, completely controlled by the brain worms, will now write cringe boy motor erotica to attract other trans women to TTT, so the brain worm can find a new host for its children. These baby brain worms jump out of her body and into the Hun thread, ready to infect another host. At this point, the boy motor has become a repressor, so ready to convince themselves they aren't trans to appease the hungry brain worm. Thus, the cycle begins anew. Every trans person has levels of these brain worms, and they are directly proportional to time spent on the LGBT board. I pray for you that in a moment of sadness, you don't go there, drawn by the siren song of boy motor erotica. You will get brain worms, and you will die. From those brain worms, we find one universal symptom The classic, every trans person passes except me. And this universal symptom, the years of self-hate, has resulted into almost impossible beauty standards imposed on oneself. It usually shows up in larvae brainworms alone. I must reach the impossible beauty levels seen of people who started HRT at 10. Anything less is wrong because I can't be kind of masculine, but every other trans person can be. The shocking thing is that even if the trans person doesn't believe that every trans person needs to pass, they will still hate themselves for not passing. Wait, why did I have that on in the first place? If you want my genuine opinion of passing, that it's very hard and not every person needs to pass to be considered a valid trans person. But for me at least, I want to pass so I can stop being treated as male. I mean, it's kind of fucked that actually being able to pass is basically a die roll. People need to stop tweaking it so hard about if they pass or not. Like, you're still epic and poggers, even if you don't pass to me, and I wish you all the best. The amount of weight and emphasis placed on passing trans people is basically just lookism, for whom I think should be respected. If I want to stick my penis in them, then they're human, that sort of stuff. The weirdos who foam about non-passing people are weirdos, because if every single trans person was like a fucking Calvin Klein Euphoria model, people would still irrationally hate us anyway. It's also somewhat ironic that trans femmes transition to female and instantly get toxic body standards placed upon them. I should have stayed male, dog. I miss being able to go out in just jeans and a t-shirt, being able to go outside without giving a fuck about how you look. Anyway, it just might seem a little silly to outsiders for a trans person to be worried about how others perceive you. I mean, it's so easy to have unending confidence in a self that you hate. Just go outside and smile. That's it. Like, I heard smiling gives you like a +10 protection against slurs. And, you know, I'm gonna be honest for a second. This video is all bullshit. I've been tricking you, Joker's trick, idiot. Trans people just want to become women by skinning innocent turfs alive and using that skin to create a skin suit to do the Buffalo Bill dance in. All the social justice is made up. We just want skin suits, dog. I mean, I just want to enter women's bathrooms and before wacky 80s teen comedy stuff of looking at the boobied girls in the bathroom. Women with nice skin, just look over there. I think there's like a makeup or shopping, you know, the most iconic women things, just like really